INEC today met with resident electoral commissioners from the state. The umpire continue to prepare for the November 11 election. But the question is the umpire really ready for Imo, Bayelsa, and Kogi elections? And it's 3 years since the incident at the Lekki toll gate in Lagos, a controversial protest which came to a head in the thick of the agitations for the end of SARS, arm of the Nigerian police force, and their unlawful practices. Hello everyone, welcome to the program. This is Politics Today, live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Kimbaloye in Abuja. It's 3 years now after the incident at the Lekki toll gate in Lagos, which happened on the 10th of October in the thick of a nationwide NSAS protest against police brutality. Reports reveal that at least 15 protesters arrested in 2020 are still being arbitrarily detained, the majority of them without trial, in Kirikiri Medium Correctional Center and Ikoyi Medium Security Correctional Center in Lagos. According to Amnesty International, at least 12 peaceful protesters were killed in Alausa and Lekki in Lagos by security operatives on the 20th of October 2020. It added that at least 56 people have died across the country during the protests. But the big question is, in all of these, what lessons have we been able to take out of those experiences, as NSAS really are being able to give us the kind of expectations and the end result that those who protested were yearning for? President Bola Tinubu has approved the appointment of Mr. Shaka Shira as the substantive Auditor General of the Federation, as recommended by the Federal Civil Service Commission. President Tinubu has also appointed and affirmed Mr. Adewale Adeniyi as the Comptroller General of the Nigeria Customs Service. This was contained in a statement today by the Director of Information and the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Mr. Willie Bassi. He says Adeniyi's confirmation took effect yesterday, the 19th of October 2023. The President has also approved the partial waiver of the no work, no pay order preferred against the members of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, which went on an 8-month strike on the 14th of February 2022 and ended the industrial action on the 17th of October 2022. The then President Muhammadu Buhari had invoked the no work, no pay to compel the university teachers to return to their classrooms. Since then, the lecturers have yet to be paid during the period of the strike. But the President has ordered that 4 months of the 8 months of salaries when the lecturers were off work should be paid. Tonight, we shall be engaging the governorship candidate of the Labour Party in Imo State. One man that is full of enthusiasm and passion. He do believe that he's going to unseat Hope Uzodinma and the APC at the end of affair in the southeast state. Achonu will be joining us later in the program. And of course, we'll be checking with INEC what exactly is going on in terms of preparations for this election. Stick around with me because the conversation will get started right after we've brought you up to speed with your political roundup stories.
Religious leaders in Kaduna State have met with Governor Uba Sani to engage in a crucial discussion about finding enduring solutions to the state's ethno-religious conflicts and various security challenges. The Christian delegation was headed by Reverend Joseph Hayab, the Kaduna State CAN chairman, while their Muslim counterparts were led by the JNI chairman, Professor Shafiu Abdullahi. Governor Sani pledged to lead an inclusive government that would work closely with all pertinent stakeholders to tackle the spectrum of pressing issues.
We must revitalize the economies of rural areas by ensuring that we provide jobs, we end poverty, and that is the only way we can develop as a state.
The African Democratic Congress is calling for peaceful conduct of the Kogi governorship election as the party urges residents of the state to shun all forms of political violence and thuggery. The candidate of the party, Mr. Leke Abejide, was speaking to party faithful at Kotonkarfe local government area, where he says he is prepared to ensure that all political thugs are dealt with by security agencies. And the National Association of Okun students have declared support for the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Senator Dino Melaye, in the Kogi governorship contest. The president of the association, Ajibade David, made a declaration while addressing journalists in Lokoja, the state capital. The student leader says the group has narrowed its choice to the PDP candidate after carefully analyzing the capacity, experience and competence of the three contestants from the Kogi West senatorial district. And in Imo State, few days after a group of obedient youth collapsed their structure for the re-election bid of the incumbent governor of Imo State, Senator Hope Uzodimma, a member of the obedient movement, Comrade Kennedy Iyere, says the recent show of support by the obedient movement to Governor Hope Uzodimma has once again justified his earlier claim that Governor Uzodimma remains the best option for Imo people in the November 11 election. Speaking in Owerri, the Imo State capital, Mr. Iyere says the obedient youth in Imo State have taken the right decision in supporting Governor Uzodimma's re-election due to the governor's outstanding performances in the last 3.5 years. The Labour Party has been speaking on what transpired at the Court of Appeal in Lagos in an appeal case between a Labour Party candidate representing Isikwato Umonechi Federal Constituency of Abia State and the House of Representatives Honorable Amobi Oga and the All Progressives Congress candidate in Kiruka Onyejocha, where two different lawyers of the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC appeared before the court. Speaking at a news conference in Abuja, the National Publicity Secretary of the party, Mr. Obiora Ifo, explains that INEC had engaged a senior counsel, J.O. Asoluka SAN, as its lawyers with a letter of authorization to represent the commission, but at the commencement of the hearing at the appeal court, another lawyer from INEC surfaced with another letter of authority to take over the case without prior notice to J.O. Asoluka SAN. The party is therefore asking the commission to reject compromises as Nigerians are looking up to redeem its image in the aftermath of the controversial 2020.
Urge you, sir, to investigate the inglorious roles which the legal department of the commission is playing and go ahead and sanction every of the erring officials.
Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. So the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, says it will deploy 46,084 regular and ad hoc staff for the November 11 governorship election in Imo, Bayelsa, and Kogi State. The chairman of the commission, Mahmoud Yakubu, says that they are ready for the election when he met with resident electoral commissioners at the INEC conference room today. Take a listen to some of what Professor Mahmoud said today.
All non-sensitive materials for the election have been delivered to the three states. Other preparatory activities, including training, are on course. Valuable lessons have been learned from the 2023 general election for improved performance in the forthcoming elections. Last week, we concluded a mock accreditation involving actual voters in designated polling units in the three states. We look forward to improved performance of the beavers in voter accreditation and result upload in the forthcoming elections. While we are leaving no stone unturned in other areas of preparations for the governorship election, the Commission plans to deploy a total of 46,084 regular and ad hoc staff for the election.
Let's get some more updates before I get into the Imo governorship election race and the contest. Let's speak with the Chief Press Secretary to the INEC Chairman, Mr. Rotimi Oyekomi, who joins us virtually from Abuja. Thank you so much, Rotimi, for joining us tonight on the program. Let's begin this conversation by allowing Nigerians to have a sense of what the the chairman of INEC said today. He said INEC has learned the lessons and is working ahead of the November 11 elections. Can you bring us up to speed with those lessons, the lessons that INEC has learned from the past elections that have brought you to this point?
Thank you very much, Sheung. No two elections are the same. Of course, the 2020 general election has its own peculiarities, just like other elections have had their own peculiarities. But essentially, we know that when we're preparing for elections, a lot of things are involved. People have to be trained. The ad hoc staff have to be trained. We have to make arrangements for logistics and transportation. We have to prepare the polling units. Our electoral officers have to be trained. We have to synergize with the security agents to take care of security matters. We also have to attend to the voters in terms of making the permanent voter cards available for them. So in preparing for these all three governorship elections, we began really by releasing the timetable 1 whole year ahead of time. And there were 13 activities listed in the timetable and schedule of activities, out of which we have carried out 11. And of course, as you heard the INEC chairman state during the meeting with the resident electoral commissioners, we have delivered all the non-sensitive materials needed for the election for the 3 states. Various trainings needed for the elections are ongoing as we speak. We are very hopeful that with the meetings we want to have with the security agents next week, things will work out well for us in that respect, because security is an issue and everybody's concerned about it. We're going to deploy technology. You know that the issue of beavers was, very, very much talked about during the 2020 general election. And last week, we carried out the mock accreditation in the 3 states. In fact, the INEC chairman and his team were in Kogi State to monitor the mock accreditation. And that was for 2 purposes. The first one is to test the efficacy of the beavers machine itself. You know, of course, that the machine is used for authentication. You bring your PVC to the polling unit, and the beavers is used to authenticate that polling unit, and then you have to go through the accreditation using either your fingerprints or facials. And of course, after the close of poll, after the results have been declared, ballots counted in the presence of party agents, security agents, and the voters who are around, and the figures entered into our polling unit election result for the form ECHA, the beavers is used to snap the picture of that form ECHA and then upload it to the INEC result viewing portal. So those were the things that were tested last week, and they were successful. The actual voters that came out were authenticated, and of course, after the exercise, the result of the mock accreditation was uploaded successfully to the INEC result viewing portal. So I think that, go on.
Yeah, so I'd like to ask, in specifics, I think where a lot of Nigerians have their fears is in the transmission of results. What can you tell us tonight in specific that INEC has done to fix what INEC described as glitches ahead of November 11?
Sheung, let me make a clarification. We are not transmitting, we are uploading. There's a difference between transmitting and uploading. Now, when you are transmitting, it is assumed that you also do electronic collation of results. That's not what INEC is doing. All we are doing is that we are taking a picture of the polling unit results and uploading, say, to the INEC result viewing portal. So all you have on the IREF is just like a scoreboard in a stadium when there's a football match. You know what the scoreboard does? When a goal is scored, it is displayed on the scoreboard. That is exactly what IREF is. IREF is there to receive pictures of Form ECHAs from the various polling units that are going to be posted or uploaded to it by the presiding officers. It doesn't do any other thing. And what does it do? It holds on to that information so that when Nigerians that have the protocols that have registered, that have the username, that have the password, log in and go to any polling unit, click on the state they want to view the results, go to the local government, go to the polling units, they can easily see this picture, of the results. And then if they like, they can self-collate, but of course, nobody is allowed to announce the results of the election except INEC.
So, I mean, in that sense, you remember the problems INEC had in the presidential election, and a lot of Nigerians that have expressed their fears about the coming elections had equally said, look, are those problems resolved now? Is it a third-party problem? Are they resolved? What exactly could be the problem? Is it a hardware problem? Are they resolved? So can you tell us now, because I understand that technical issues and logistics issues are being catered and are being fixed at the moment by INEC. Are those glitches, the technical issues, have they been resolved?
I can affirm that those technical issues have been resolved. And like I said, last week we undertook the mock accreditation. And one of the reasons why we did that was to test run these technology gadgets that we're going to use, and it was successful. Glitches can happen in any instance. Even the big players like Facebook, like Instagram, like Twitter, they have what you call downtime. I have been in this situation because I'm very active on social media. I have been in a situation where I couldn't access Facebook for over 24 hours. I'm sure Nigerians will bear me out. So how do you describe that? It's a glitch. You understand? Technology can throw up challenges. But by and large, we have learned our lessons from the 2020 general election. And let me tell you, it was the first time we were deploying the IREF in a general election setting. We have been using the IREF for off-season governorship elections successfully. But it was the first time where we deployed it for the general election. But we had a glitch for some hours and we fixed it. But I can assure you that this time around, we're not going to have glitches.
Rotimi, bring us up to speed with what you know now as in relation to Adamawa and Sokoto REC. Those that are being scrutinized by INEC, what can you tell us about them?
Well, you remember what happened with the Adamawa REC. It took the action that it took, and the commission came out to denounce what it did, and we took our own action and recommended to the appointing authority to take action, which was taken. And we are, of course, in court. We are expecting prosecution, but we require, cooperation of other stakeholders. So it's ongoing. And you know, of course, that when it comes to legal matter, because he has the right to defend himself, which he's trying to do, we have to flow with the movement of the court. So we are on it. And I'm sure that when other issues come up, Nigerians will hear about it.
So what about the Sokoto REC? You just mentioned the Adamawa REC. What about the Sokoto REC? The reason why I'm asking this question is for those who think that untoward activities or practices are being engaged by INEC top officials, and they are afraid that if anything is not done and precisely to deal with those who are perpetrating some kind of fraudulent activities in our electoral process, it will continue. And in these 3 elections, there are those who have their fears that some people, some politicians may have compromised INEC top officials. And that's why it will be important to know whether or not those who have been alleged to have participated in untoward activity are brought to book. What about the Sokoto REC?
Thank you very much. First of all, the Commission takes its responsibility very seriously. And the code of conduct is there for our officials. If you do something wrong, you face the music. This commission has never shied away from its responsibilities. The Sokoto REC that you talked about was suspended, and the suspension remains. And I tell you, by the time the commission takes the next course of actions, Nigerians will get to know about it. We are not going to reward bad behavior. I want to assure Nigerians. And any official of INEC that steps out of line knows exactly what is waiting for him in terms of applying the sanctions that are well written, that are well articulated, and that are well known to them.
All right. Give us an idea of what is happening in relation, because the other day I spoke with the Bayelsa rec. He says there hasn't been any communication from the headquarters in respect of Timi Pre Silva, the candidate of the APC that was sacked by the court. What do we know about him? Has there anything changed? Also, it would be good also for you to give us an understanding about the Imo State situation in respect of the Labour Party. Who do you recognize as of today as a flag bearer of the Labour Party in Imo? Bring us up to speed on these two situations.
Thank you very much. Well, the first case you mentioned, the Commission has not taken a decision on that. When the Commission takes a decision, it will be communicated to Nigerians. But the second instance, I'm sure you are referring to the PRP nomination. We received the court order last week and we are complying. But let me say this, the party did not nominate any candidates during the window for nomination. But well, they went to court and the court said we should accept the nomination. And of course, the Commission has a good record of complying with court order, so we are going to comply.
So tell us, who is the APC? Does the APC have a candidate in Bayelsa State today?
Come again?
APC in Bayelsa State. Do they have a candidate as of now?
Now, this is the situation. When there are legal cases, you have to wait until the end of the legal issues. Okay, because things can happen within a few days or a few weeks. And so if you have something today and the person is appealing to a higher court, you have to wait until the higher court takes a decision. So, but what I'm saying is that when the final decision on that particular matter is taken, the Commission will come out to say, this is exactly what the situation is. But please, let's take it easy. And let's wait till the Commission takes that decision.
What about the Labour Party in Imo State? Who is the flag bearer as of today?
I have just said to you, Achonu, that we received a court order asking INEC to accept the nomination, and we are going to do so. And of course, when we do so, Nigerians will be informed. But like I said,
you are making reference to PRP situation. I'm talking about the Labour Party in Imo. Who is the candidate as of today?
The Labour Party, I don't have any information on that. I'm sorry.
On your website, Ethan Achonu is what is uploaded on your website, and I just want to confirm whether or not that subsists.
Well, if it's on our website, then it subsists. What I'm saying is that if there are, we have a period for publishing the list of candidates. And of course, when court orders come, for instance, then if the court says we should drop a particular name and accept another, we do so. And then in the remarks column, we then say by court order. All right. So if the name is on our website, because I'm not aware of any substitution or whether INEC has taken a decision on that, I'm not aware of that. But if there is a change, it is something that will be announced to the general public.
But before I allow you to go, Rotimi, can you assure Nigerians that for what has become a dented and a possible damage to the reputation of INEC, is INEC able to fix that in these 3 elections coming on the 11th of November?
Sheung, let me say this. This commission is committed to free, fair, and credible elections. As far as we are concerned, we have not done anything to damage our reputation. I think that some Nigerians are very emotional about the way they react to election results. And the situation is not helped by the politicians, the candidates, because when they lose election, they say things that instigate some emotional upheaval in their supporters. But like I always tell people, what INEC is doing now will not be appreciated now until later. It is later, maybe long after we have gone, that people will then look back at what we have done, what we did in 2023, and appreciate the kind of work and the kind of diligence that went into that election. So we haven't changed. We are the same. We conduct credible elections. We don't favor any political party. We don't favor any candidate. That is our job. Now, the results may not go the way some people want, but it doesn't stop the fact that INEC is committed to free, fair, and credible elections. So we have a free mind. For this 3 off-season governorship election, we are going to do exactly what we have been doing, provide a level playing ground, and give all the voters the chance to express their will, and the result that will come out will reflect the will of the people. I can assure Nigerians that.
Rotimi Oyekomi is the Chief Press Secretary to the INEC Chairman. Thank you so much indeed for your time tonight. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Let's go to Imo State and let's touch base with our tracking of the campaigns and the activities on the field as some of the top candidates are talking to voters and preparing for the November 11 elections. Let's go to Imo State today, and we'll be speaking tonight with the Labour Party candidate, Senator Achonu. Thanks so much, distinguished Senator, for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Shem, for having me.
Why is Labour Party in such a distress in your state?
Well, to be honest, for starters, I'm shaking because I'm coming before you today.
Please don't shake. You are in good hands. Only if you agree to speak the truth and nothing but the truth.
Yes, and secondly,
you agree to speak the truth and nothing but the truth.
Definitely. And secondly, I'm distressed after hearing the Chief Press Secretary to the INEC Chairman say when he couldn't answer a straightforward question as to who is the authentic Labour Party candidate for the election that is almost about 2 weeks away. So you see, because in the first instance, INEC is supposed to have put a stop to the propaganda against Labour Party that has been ongoing for a while now. A case came from High Court, Appeal Court, Supreme Court about the candidature of the Labour Party. And they have lawyers. And then also, I blame the journalists as well, who have been airing this news without investigating and finding out the truth about this matter. So it has now helped the APC with their propaganda, because what they been wanting to do is to make people believe, because we are the party to beat in Imo State.
Really?
Yes, we are. So all they have been trying to do all this while is to make people think, oh no, if we vote, they call me one-arm general. Oh, if they vote for one-arm general...
Why did they call you one-arm general?
I have one arm. Yes.
That's not a disability, though.
No, it's not.
I believe, you are a man of means, and with one arm, you have been able to do well for yourself. You've been in the Senate. Now your name is on the ballot. It's an inspiration to a lot of people.
Actually, I think that in the land of 200 men, a 100 man is a king. So honestly, I blame the press and I blame INEC. The INEC chairman, after this now, I'm going to call out the INEC chairman to come out and tell the world who is the authentic candidate of the Labour Party.
From what I see, except maybe my internet is deceiving me, Achonu is the candidate there.
But
the question is that you've not been able to answer the question.
Yes.
Why is your party in such a disaster?
It's not in any disaster. It's this propaganda.
There are no persons that are causing the trouble other than the members of your party. Your colleagues in the Labour Party in Imo are loggerheads. Some are rejecting you as a candidate. Why?
No, they're not.
You are popular in your party.
They're not rejecting me. What happened is that they lost out and they were sent into the party to destabilize the party.
Who sent them?
The APC.
How? Do you have evidence to that?
Well, I don't have any evidence. The only evidence I have is that a former commissioner that worked for Senator Hope Uzodimma, now suddenly he was sacked. Then suddenly he became the Southeast coordinator for the Big Tent. Okay? So immediately after our primaries, he now started working with, he was denounced. The man who took the other party to court came out on TV to say that he was supporting me. And if you bring him here, he will tell you exactly what happened. So now this man has gone back, did a U-turn, gone back to endorse Senator Hope Uzodimma after pretending to be a member of the Labour Party. So you can surmise that something is wrong there, because he's the one who is generating all this controversy.
There were two press conferences here in Abuja.
Yes.
One by the National Public Secretary of the party, and also Basil. I mean, who are saying, look, this is what it is, and this is now. I mean, the discordant tones in your party. It's surprising that you are blaming another party for the woes of your party.
No. You see, Labour Party, Labour Party was a small party until Peter happened to it. And you see, some of these small parties, during elections, those who contest the chairmanship, the executive party positions, do that so that at the worst case, they will now align with other parties. If you look at the track record of all these parties who have never won any seat in any election, that's anybody who is aspiring for any position there. That's normally what they aspire to do, to, at worst case, align with another party. You understand me? And so when Peter now happened to them, they couldn't handle it. Do you understand? So this is basically a small party.
All right.
Yes, so that's what happened.
Let's take a breather. I'm interested in what you put together as a manifesto, if you have one, and your agenda for the people of Imo State. You seem to be very confident that you're going to be the next governor of Imo State, and we'll be wanting to know why. What gives you that kind of confidence? Is it Peter Obi? Is it the Obedient Movement? By the way, some members of the Obedient Movement in Imo State are already leaving your camp and have crossed to the other side, but we'll be asking, why are they deserted? It's an Achonu. That's going to be after this break, everyone. Join us again. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us on the program tonight. Senator Ethan Achonu is the Labour Party candidate in Imo State. He's live with me here in our Abuja studio. Thanks so much indeed. We've had a few instances in Owerri where some members who say they are members of the Obedient Movement have since said they are endorsing Senator Hope Uzodimma. Is that a kind of a dent on your own acceptance, on your own chances of being the governor of Imo State? If those who are assumed to be on your side are already crossing to the other side?
What actually happened is that Senator Hope Uzodimma unwittingly declared for the Labour Party by praising the Obedient Movement. Labour Party, the Obedient Movement is Labour Party. You understand? So for Hope Uzodimma to publicly acclaim the Obedient Movement means that he's now supporting Labour Party. As far as I'm concerned, that's how I see it. Do you understand? Because you can't separate the Obedient Movement from the Labour Party. But for the avoidance of doubt, you see, in any organization, you have people who are transactional, people who don't believe in anything. Because the Obedient Movement, is Obi that generated the Obedient Movement, the name Obi. Do you understand me? That generated the Obedient Movement. So it's about Obi and what he stands for, Peter Obi. So, I mean, soon after that, Peter Obi was with me at a rally. And
you're not worried about those Obedient members who are...
No, they are not really obedient. The Obedients have come out to say that those are charlatans. They're not Obedient members. But it made me happy that Hope Uzodimma came out on television to eulogize the Obedient Movement. Do you understand? What Peter Obi stands for. And that's what Labour Party is all about.
Are you worried that people are deserting you and that your house seems not to be in order? How can you go into an election in a disorderly, in such a ordered house How that is not together?
Who is deserting me? Nobody is deserting me.
I mean, I just mentioned about those obedient.
He has never been a member of Labour Party. You know, there are some obedients who are there for the heck of it. For example, when General Ogunewe, my other, went into the AA, some people who claim that obedience also went with him. So he came from that group to join Senator Hope Uzodinma. He has never been a member of my party. Never. You see, that was the problem with the obedient movement. Before the presidential election, there are so many obedients. You know, they just believe in Peter Obi. So now, this Imo government, Peter Obi is not going to be Imo state governor. He's the leader of the party, a presidential candidate. So some of them who didn't know me before now, who didn't know what I represent, do you understand? They had already been going with the General Ogunewe before I came into the fray. So when I now came into the fray and General Ogunewe lost and left the party, went into AA. So those people now moved with him into that group that didn't know me. When some of them who found out about me, when I started talking about myself, what I have achieved as an individual, what I represent. So most of them came back. So from those people in AA, this one now moved to Senator Uzodinma.
Senator Achonu.
Yes.
How do you react to those who say you have monetized the process? You bought your ticket. You bought your chance through to get the Labour Party ticket. How do you explain that?
Well, they said Hope Uzodinma paid me $1 million to, that I'm a placeholder for Hope Uzodinma. So they said I monetized the process. I don't have any defense except to tell you that I don't know what they're talking about. Am I not the one here?
Are you in alliance with Hope Uzodinma?
So, you can answer that question yourself. I am the Labour Party candidate. I am the person to beat. Hope Uzodinma,
your people are alleging that you have monetized the process and you are a placeholder. You have received money from the opponent. How do you explain and how do you defend yourself to the people of Imo State who are watching tonight?
The people of Imo State already know the truth.
And what is the truth?
They follow me the truth. How can I be a placeholder for Hope Uzodinma? Give me $1 million? That's not possible, Seun. I've been around in this country. I'm very well known. I can say that for myself. So I have a reputation in this country. I'm a man of integrity. Hope Uzodinma can't buy me even with $100 million. It's not possible. Nobody can buy me. Nobody can buy me.
Let's go into why you are in this. This is not your first time of wanting to become governor of Imo State. Why?
Well, as a matter of fact, I never really wanted to be governor before now. What happened was that when I left the Senate, so my supporters, they didn't have any, they didn't know what to do or where to go. So I'm making head and knows that. So I now came into the fray, so that after that we'll now work together, so that my people can now join his group, and we merge as a group. You understand me? So we'll get some offices I can give to my people to compliment, to thank them for how they supported me during the senatorial election, because I was opting out of politics at the time. So they said if I abandoned them, they will not have any place to go to. That's why I really went into that race. I didn't want to run for governor. Even this time, it was because of what was happening in Imo State. I have been championing Achonu, asking Igbos to come home and invest, to develop their homeland. Because Igbos have been chased out of Igbo land, because it's like an occupied territory. So every half a kilometer, you see a police checkpoint. You see custom checkpoints. So people can't really trade freely. Even those who are out of work, who don't have any employment, graduates who opt to drive like buses to make a living, the money they earn in a day, they will share it like, in fact, they don't go home with even 50% of their earnings. So people are now forced to leave their homeland, go elsewhere, and then develop those places to the detriment of their homeland. So the youths are jobless, the economy is dying. So I now started something called Achonu, asking Igbos to come home and invest in spite of all those difficulties, all those obstacles placed on their path, that eventually good leadership will emerge, and then we'll dismantle all those obstacles. That's why I now came.
Yeah. So, for someone, you're talking about one of the major issue in Imo election this time around is the handling of security. And those who are put their hat in the ring are saying, they're talking about how they think they could handle it better. You've had a Biafran experience, and you've talked about this in the past. From your experience and the kind of sit-at-home incident that we see in the Southeast region, should you be governor of Imo State, what would you do to quell or quench what has become a menace, the killings of innocent people, the destruction of property, the kind of disaster and the crisis that the economy of the region has faced because of this phenomenon? What would you do differently?
It's not rocket science, Shehu. I have always said, if you Google me in YouTube, you see that I've always posited that it was since governors hijacked the local government system that insecurity started. Shehu, if you have autonomy of local governments, you have democratically elected chairmen and councillors, there is no councillor who will not know when a criminal enters his ward. So it is because the citizens, they don't identify with the government at the rural area. You understand? Because those are impositions. You understand? Sole administrators. That's what the governors are using now to run the rural local governments, imposition. So the citizens don't identify with the government.
So that's how you're going to fix security?
Yes, one.
By empowering the local government?
Yes, I'm going to full autonomy of local governments. And if you see the billboards...
Isn't that already in place? By,
no, it's not. No, it's
by
not
an
in place
executive
anywhere.
order that was signed by President Buhari?
No, it's not in place anywhere. They still have sole administrators. So what I'm going to do is immediately, the first 6 months, I'll have sole administrators. So I can set up an electoral body that will conduct the freest and fairest election in the history of this country. Once that is done, I will now pass a bill, put a bill into the House of Assembly for local governments to have vigilantes. Every policing is local, Shehu. Once every local government has 30-man vigilante that will now cooperate with the DPOs, the civil defense, and the DSS at local government level, there will be peace. Where will the criminal hide? The citizens will now identify with the local authorities because it's their own. They can own it. They voted them. Because if, no matter what party you come from, once you win an election where I'm governor,
Isn't the local vigilantes or the local security in place already? The Ebubago, is already there in the southeast?
Ebubago? Which Ebubago? Ebubago is the cause of the problem in Imo State.
Really?
Yes, because they are not from Imo. Half of them are not from Imo. You heard somebody on television say that he was hired, that he's policing Imo State. I mean, they are not from Imo. Let me tell you, there is a detention center called Tiger Base that is being run by one of the SAs to the governor of Imo State. Do you know how many people have died from that detention center? We have cried and cried.
Where is the detention center?
It's called Tiger Base. It's in Owerri. Tiger Base. It's in Owerri.
Yes. In the city of Owerri?
Yes, in the city of Owerri. It's called Tiger Base.
This is a very strong allegation.
Yes.
You are linking it to the government of the day.
Yes, the government of the day, yes. They are the ones running that Tiger Base. Yes, they are.
And you are alleging that they are causing extrajudicial killings. Is that what you're saying?
People have been dying from that cell, that detention center. Whether they were killed or however they died, I don't have that information. But they've been dying from that detention center. I'll be raising alarm.
So what would you do differently to fix permanently the issue of security?
Now, look, once people can feed, can get employment, Shehu, that's the problem of this country.
And I was taking you to the point where your own Biafran experience, is there anything to learn for the younger generation who do not know the kind of story that came out of the Biafran experience, especially those who are talking about secession?
Shehu, the Igbo boy in this country is marginalized. So they don't have any job. Then their own governor, instead of finding a way to create employment to get them employed, People will feed, they feed three times a day. Now, it's only in Imo State. I've not seen anywhere on earth where you claim that somebody has committed a crime. Instead of investigating the crime and arresting them, they are slaughtered. Houses are destroyed. Look at what happened. Look at Agua. The number of houses burnt, people killed. They bombed the people. This is the only country on the face of the planet where our own military are bombing its own citizens. It doesn't happen anywhere else on earth. So now people are scared. They're running away from all their homes. Even in my village the other day, very close to my house, some soldiers were killed. They were burnt in their cars. Okay? Instead of and there was a motorcyclist who lured them to that point, where it was a bad point. In fact, exactly opposite where, ask yourself, since the prison break, where this prison break was just opposite the government house. This is the police headquarters. This is the prison. The brigade commander lives here. The DSS office was there. The commissioner of police lived there. They shot for 2 hours. Nobody came out. So immediately after that, the police stations were burnt, destroyed by these criminals who escaped from those prisons. So they were destroyed. And then I have even tried as a private individual to fix those police stations. I didn't get any support. The first one I fixed was dynamited. And then there was a man who committed murder around there. It was rumored that that man sells drugs. So they don't want police around. That's why they did that. Then there was a murder case against him. When I didn't connect him with the destruction until that murder case happened. He was arrested. So I was informed that that man should be prosecuted, that he's behind the drug peddling around there. That's why that other man was murdered. So, and it was because they didn't want police around there that they dynamited the station.
I mean, Senator Achonu, all of these stories that need to be found out properly and facts being established, because you've not been able to lay evidence on some of these things. But let me ask you.
I reported these matters to the former Inspector General of Police.
There is an Imo Charter.
So it's not as if I reported the matter.
Just a moment. There is an Imo Charter of Equity. And there are those elders and leaders of Imo who are saying, let there be a conclusion in one zone and let it move to the other. Do you object to that Imo Charter of Equity?
What Charter of Equity? What is equity? Shehu, in Imo State, these men are so scared of their own shadow. Shehu, a state where traditional rulers are being beheaded, houses are being bombed, people are being slaughtered, young men. Also, nobody lives there any longer. Go to Agua. It's the same thing.
The governor said
local government.
Some of these things are being politically motivated.
By who?
You're a politician.
I'm a politician. The governor has the DSS, has the police, the chief security officer, has the army under his control in the state. So if these are politically motivated for the last 3 years, he has not been able to arrest one single individual. Even this man I said was guilty of murder that was arrested, when he got to Ori, they moved it to Zone 9. I had to call the air Zone 9 and say, look, this man is a murderer. Be careful. They moved him to Abuja. I alerted the IG.
So you don't believe in the Imo Charter of Equity?
No, I'm coming to that, please. You are talking about this Charter of Equity. That's what I'm answering you. Now, with all these things going on, no security, who can come and say, no, governor shouldn't go there? It only takes men of courage to come out and say no to this evil. Let me ask you something. Olu had done 16 years uninterrupted. Okay? Olu, it was only, Olu did 8 years, Okigwe did 4 years. Olu came and snatched it back, where the governor comes from. Now, did 16 years. The governor has now done 4 years, making 20, and making sure they did only 7 months. And you are saying Charter of Equity, unless the governor completes another 4 years, making 24. What's equitable about that?
Let me ask you quickly, because I have 2 more questions. We have a short time to close now.
Yes.
Let me ask you quickly. There is a competition between Edo State and Imo State, in the state that has the most, the capital that has the most hotels, and there is only one thing that could have caused it, because people come into the trade and investment and all what have you. It shows that your state, Imo State, has a lot of huge potentials. How do you hope to generate wealth, give employment to the people of Imo State? What would you do? You have also boasted that since 19, you've handled your first million, and you're a man of means. How do you hope to put money in the hands of young people in Imo State and boost the economy? Should you be elected as governor?
I didn't boast. At 19, I was selling counterfeit detecting machines. At that time, I got 760-something thousand. The spiff. After this was my fight. He helped me sell to the River State Bank. What's it called again? Is it Pan African Bank? I've forgotten what. Anyway, so I made 700-something thousand naira at that time. So I wanted to answer a millionaire. I changed it into dollar, and I got more than $1 million. So actually, what I made as a 20-year-old boy was $1 million. So I wasn't boasting. So when I said, go and verify.
But how can you turn that opportunity, I mean, that understanding of making wealth and put it in the hands of the young people in Imo State and turn unemployment to employment?
Now, let me tell you what I've been suffering in Imo State, Sean. As a private, do you want me to talk about my capability or
we're
my
talking
plan?
About your plan for the people.
Good.
And you just have about 40 seconds to do that if you can.
Okay. I have a plan to establish 6 industrial zones, 2 per geopolitical zone. Okay? Now, although people are known for pharmaceuticals, so we're establishing a pharmaceutical zone in Olo. Then, and I know Ohajebema is known for oil and gas, an oil and gas zone there. Then, Okigwe zone. We have granite, we have kaolin. We're establishing factories that will use those raw materials. Already, I have established a farm that can employ 2,000 people in my local government right now as we speak. We're going to spread it to almost all the local governments. In Owerri zone, we have an existing industrial zone in the city. We are building another one around Ngokbala area where the airport is. We are activating the international cargo airport in Owerri that has been built since Zimbabwe. Not even one cargo has landed there since it was built. So I'm going to activate that. I'm going to make it a cargo hub.
All right.
Yes.
Let me ask you a final question. For those who think that Hope Uzodinma is a force and he's on his way to being re-elected, there is a stiff competition from you. There's a stiff competition coming from Sam Ayawu of the PDP. What gives you the thinking that you have the chance to win that election?
We are among the 3 governorship candidates. I'm the only one. How do you put it? They said, what is your address? What have you done? What is your CV? When you're looking for a job, you come with your CV. What have you done as a private individual? It's only in Nigeria that people who don't have CVs get elected. I create employment. I've been creating it for the last more than 20 years. What have they done? Who have they employed, apart from a driver and a cook in their lives? Who have they employed? What work, what money have they generated from business? So you can't give what you don't have. That is what is happening in Imo, playing out in Imo State. So the governor doesn't know what to do.
You think you are better than that?
I mean, there's no basis for comparison.
Your certificate in agronomy, you still have it intact?
I don't have any certificate in agronomy.
What did you study?
I have school cert.
And that's what you are using now?
Yes.
And you think that is enough to be a governor of Imo State?
More than enough to be a governor of Imo State. Yes.
It's an Achonu Labour Party governorship candidate in Imo State. Thank you so much indeed for your time, and I wish you the very best.
Thank you very much.
That's our show for tonight, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'll see you on Sunday. I have a conversation that I've packaged for Sunday, 8 p.m. Don't miss it. I probably will give you a tip later on Sunday afternoon to have an understanding of what is to come on Sunday night on this show. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Sean Kimale. God bless you.